Hello, all my beautiful souls, and welcome back to Sunrise Tarot. My name is Leah, and today I'm doing a reading for the beautiful sign of Gemini for the month of August 2022. I hope all my Gemini friends are doing well today. As you know, this is a general reading, so there will be parts that you may not resonate with. Just leave those parts for someone else and only take what resonates specifically with you. As you know, dear Gemini, I have already meditated on the cards. I've already shuffled the cards, and this is a spread that I have for you today. In the past position, we have the Eight of Cups, clarified by the Empress. In the challenging position, we do have the Ace of Swords, clarified by the Three of Cups. In the present position, we have the Nine of Swords, clarified by the Knight of Swords. And in the future outcome position, we have the Sun, clarified by the Queen of Pentacles. Very strong spread. I especially love the Sun, dear Gemini, because the Sun is such a powerful card. It's a major arcana card. It has such positive attributions to it that it kind of lessens the negative impact of the negative cards. And frankly, the only potentially worrying card is the Nine of Swords, because it's, a card of anxiety and sleepless nights. The Sun is balancing that out. You are going through change. You are in the middle of going through change. We just had a full moon in Capricorn, which was very significant, very powerful moon, especially because it is the first full moon that comes after the summer solstice, and so it kind of sets the tone for the rest of the year, if you will. There is also going to be a winter solstice, and the full moon that will come after that is also going to be very powerful. So you have two full moons that kind of alter the path a little bit, and that kind of affects your life, as your personal life as well as your professional life, just in general, how things are in your life. But also we have an important new moon that is coming up, I believe, on July 28th. That's going to be a new moon in Leo, and this is why you have the Sun card, because the new moon in Leo is going to bring a lot of positivity. It's going to be all about your heart energy. It's going to be all about compassion. It's going to be all about empathy. It's all, everything to do with the wonderful attributes of heart energy. It will give you joy. It will give you warmth. It will give you respite from the anxiety and the worry. It will balance things out for you and give you much needed hope, much needed opportunities when looking towards the future. So there's definitely things are going to be much easier here shortly as we close out the month of July, and August is going to be a really great month for you. Overall, you are going through change that may impact your feelings, that may impact your thoughts. You may be feeling kind of the lingering anxiety, but like I mentioned, it is slowly going away. Remember, you create the world that you live in conjunction with the divine. So working together with the universe, you create the world that you want to see, and also working with the different movements of the planets and everything. You also work with that in order to create and manifest things that you want to see in your life. It is important to remember and be aware of. Now, in the past position, we do have an interesting combination, because we do have the Eight of Cups with the Empress. The Eight of Cups tells me that in the past, or recently, there was a change in priorities for you. You realized that you wanted to pursue something that gave you more meaning, something that brought more to your life, even though you already invested quite a lot in doing something that meant a lot to you. You decided to kind of abandon what you were building and move towards something else. Maybe you are thinking thinking about changing homes. Maybe you are thinking about putting more effort and energy into, the relationships in your life that create more comfort for you as well. But definitely it's something to do with your home, because the Empress represents and symbolizes, family and home and abundance that we feel when we think about our creature comforts, if you will. And definitely your priorities regarding that changed, and you're building something on much more solid ground with much better understanding. And, it's important to receive all the experience that we receive in the past. It's, very important. Nothing is done in vain. Everything that happens in our life teaches us and makes us stronger, because we grow through it and we come out much more resilient on the other end. Now, in the challenging position, we do have the Ace of Swords, which tells me that communication in the month of August is going to be somewhat difficult. That may cause some anxiety. That's maybe why you have the Nine of Swords in the present position. But in the month of August, you may feel for about a week or so some chaotic energy happening around you, some confusion, some kind of thoughts that are kind of jumbled together, and there's no really a clear pattern of thinking that follows a certain logic, if you will. The Ace of Swords is a minor arcana card. So this energy, this somewhat difficult energy, somewhat worrying, kind of anxious energy, is going to last for about a week, maybe a week and a half, which sometimes can seem like a long time. It's never pleasant to feel that negative energy, but it is important to do everything you can to stay grounded, because you should be aware by this time that negative energy is something that you need to learn to work with, right? Sometimes you just cannot escape the negative energy. So there must be some tools in your toolbox in order to be able to successfully kind of coexist with negative energy without allowing it to impact or contaminate your high vibration too much. And that, can take some finagling, that can take some training when it comes to your thinking. Meditating is very important. Drinking lots of water is very important. This full moon that we just had in Capricorn, I set out a lot of bottles with water on my windowsill, and I energized the water with the moon energy throughout the night, and actually woke up several times because it was so powerful. The moon was, very different than you would have like a normal moon. And it's important to remember that full moons and new moons, they symbolize something. They stand for something. For centuries, people paid attention to the full moon cycles, to the new moon cycles. And, they must have done that because it actually meant quite a lot. These days, we ignore such things because we generally live, by calendars, and we forget the significance. But it is important to remember that the ancestors, contained a lot of wisdom. So it's always important to read books, to educate yourself regarding how different traditions used to be done in the past times, because, they can help us in times of confusion, in times of when we feel stressed, or when we feel we are kind of somehow, not as protected. It's important to educate yourself and prepare yourself so that you can rely on your own knowledge instead of freaking out and running to your friend or your parent or your spouse or your significant other or your colleague at work or whatever. It's important to rely on your own knowledge, and so that requires doing some homework and educating yourself, when you can. Sometimes, like, I'll read a book as I'm riding to work on public transportation, or what have you. It's important to educate yourself and to continue educating yourself rather than relying on someone else. There's different work you can do with crystals. There's many different spell rituals that you can do. There's many different things that you can do to combat negative thinking, and be prepared when that moment arrives, which will make you feel so much better. That is just something to be aware of. But in the month of August, we do see that there's going to be some miscommunication, especially as it relates to a group of people, maybe a group of friends, maybe some family members. But there does seem to be a little bit of gossip going on in the month of August, so don't trust other people's communication in the month of August. Rely on basically your own communication, and don't share too much with other people, because the communication you receive may not be that super reliable. You may also feel less productive in the month of August because of the Ace of Swords in the challenging position. You may feel like you're not as strong when it comes to your analyzing ability, observational ability as well. So it's definitely important to work on grounding yourself. This is a really good month to do some work behind the scenes, and that requires grounding yourself, meditating, crystal work. In the present position, we do have the Nine of Swords, which is a card of anxiety, and of course focusing on the negative and not being able to really sleep that well because there's all kinds of thoughts going through your head and you really are not sure how to stop it. And primarily it does look like there's some kind of change coming in. We do see the Knight of Swords, which is all about change in your environment, maybe at work, maybe at home. For everyone, it is of course different. But it's important to remember you don't want to be stuck in your head too much. That's why grounding is important, because when you stay within your own frame, you stay in your chest rather than the head. Sometimes it's important to turn the head off. Sometimes overthinking leads kind of to draining of energy and really nowhere. Sometimes it's just important to shut the head off and watch a movie or read a book or do something more useful for your soul, right? Like doing soul work is definitely something important. But in the future outcome position, you have an amazing combination. You have the Sun, which is all about joy and success and self-realization and victory and accomplishments and, warmth and joy and happiness and all those wonderful things. Also, the Divine here is letting you know, be playful. When you take on childish qualities, when you are carefree and you laugh and you don't think too much, that playfulness raises your vibration and you're able to enjoy life. Remember, sometimes we take life so serious. It's in a way just a movie, right? It's in a way just an experience that we asked for. So remember, don't overthink things. Don't make things more significant than they are. Sometimes people just kind of get way too intense. Allow some levity to come into your life, and be playful, because that type of quality invites more positive energy. We do see that the clarifying position has the Queen of Pentacles, which is a great card to have. The Queen of Pentacles really likes creature comforts. So for some of you, you may find out that you're going to be doing more working from home and having more of that balance where you get to take care of things professionally, but also personally, and actually spending some time with yourself. Maybe you can do some exercises. I'm actually running a 5K in a couple of weeks, to kind of raise my vibration, to also exercise a little bit, get that energy flowing. The Queen of Pentacles is also a good omen for financial security. Maybe there is a promotion coming your way. Maybe there is some money that is due to you and it's finally finding its way to you, but there's clear abundance and there's clear balance that is coming to you in the month of August. Like I mentioned mentioned, previously, anxiety is there to remind us that happiness is something truly important, and we cultivate happiness, right? We allow happiness into our life. So make sure to find that balance, and not allow all of the anxiety to kind of take over, if you will. But let's see what we can clarify with the Moon Oracle card that I pulled earlier. And we have change, of course. Change is something that is inevitable, and change is something that is constant. One of the great truths in life is that change is constant and it is unavoidable, and we can resist all we want, but nothing truly stays the same. It is better than to prepare and even direct change by setting intentions and building our personal power from the inside out. Definitely accepting change is very important, and planning ahead is something that you want to do. And the companion stone for this card is serpentine. Now, the other card that I pulled is an angel and ancestor oracle card, which is Sky Father. Trust in the unknown. Very interesting. Trust that your path is unfolding exactly as it needs to. You have a personal relationship with the Great Father. Know that He is lovingly leading you forward. You are a co-creator of your life, and every thought, feeling, intention, and emotion you have is creating the road ahead. With that being said, you don't need to know every single detail of what is going to unfold before you. When this card appears, you are being guided to step back and get out of your own way, because there is a greater power that is not only around you but also within you. And Sky Father is creating the best experience imaginable. Accepting this will allow you to accept miraculous energy to come into your life. This card could also appear when there are opportunities to improve the father connection in your life. If your father figure is in heaven, know that his spirit is drawing close. If he is on earth, there is an opportunity to heal something, whether past or present. What a wonderful card. I hope you enjoyed this reading, dear Gemini. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much for visiting my channel, and I will see you next time.